Hello. Hopefully, some of you guys are out there watching right now. Um, if you are logged in on my website, if you wouldn't mind just clicking on the video, then it'll take you to YouTube. That way I can see people are watching. And if you are watching, please go ahead and comment in the comment box on the side with your name so that this is also a good time. If you don't have a, make yourself some tea, get yourself some water before we start. Mark said I'm coming in choppy at the moment. Okay. I'm trying a new camera setup, so we'll see how it goes. If it's a little choppy, I may have to workshop it and figure something else out. Can you hear me all right? Is it the audio or is it the video that's being choppy, or is it both? Cool. Thanks, Mark. It says there's more than one person watching this, so if you are watching, okay, my mom says it looks good, sounds good. Again, if you're just tuning in, if you are on my website, go ahead and click on the video. That'll bring you to YouTube. From there, just comment in the comment box your name so I know that you're watching. And we'll get started in about 5 minutes or so. I really wish there was a way that I could see who's watching, because right now it's this like talking to the ether. Great, we got 5 people. Again, if you're just tuning in, go ahead and click on the video if you're watching through my website, and then comment in the little comment box on YouTube your name so I know that you're watching. Yay, Adrian and Nora, sweet, welcome. Hope you guys are doing okay. All right, let's go ahead and get started. My plan for today is to do, I guess, 3 different things. First thing we'll do is we'll do a breathing exercise to center ourselves, ground ourselves, and prepare ourselves for the next 2 things that we'll do. We're going to go through a little yin yoga practice. Yin yoga is where you hold yoga poses for an extended duration of time with very little movement. So we will work on 4 different poses, and we'll hold them each for about 2.5 to 3 minutes. After that, we will sit and have a formal meditation practice. I'm guessing we'll do that for about 15 minutes. Of course, if you want to meditate for longer, you are more than welcome to. Before we jump into the exercises, a few things you might want to have with you. Maybe if you have yoga blocks, that's great. If you have a yoga mat, that works. If you don't have either of those, grab a towel, grab some pillows, anything to help you feel comfortable when we go through these. All right, for the breathing practice we're going to do, we'll be in a seated position. I'm going to go ahead and use my meditation cushion here. If you have a yoga block, you can also sit on the yoga block. If you have a towel, you can sit on the towel, kind of fold it to your thickness that you like. The higher it is, the easier it will be on your knees and your hips. So go ahead and find a comfortable position. I'm going to do it cross-legged for now. Sit up nice and tall. We want to make sure that our sits bones are grounding into the floor and that we're reaching through the top of our head so that our spine is nice and long. Okay. Hands are going to start on our knees. And let's go ahead and close our eyes and take a moment to center ourselves and bring our attention to our breath. See if you can tune in to the rhythm of your inhales and your exhales. As we go through this breathing practice, this is called three-sectional breathing, where we work on basically isolating the breath in different parts of the body. I encourage you to keep your eyes closed and just listen to the instructions that I give you. Let's start by placing our hands on our lower abdomen, so right below our belly buttons. As we breathe in, we want to fill up our bellies like a balloon so that they expand open. And as we exhale, allow all of the breath to leave your body. With each inhale, I want you to imagine that the breath is expanding forward, but also back towards your lumbar spine and out to the sides all at the same time. 360 degrees of expansion. Let's go ahead and bring our hands to the center of our chest now. So this is going to be right over our sternum, or essentially right over where our heart exists in our body. Now as we inhale, we're going to keep our abdomen engaged, keep it slightly taut, a little bit of tension, so that the breath can rise up into the rib cage. With each inhale, I want you to see if you can feel the space in between all of your ribs expanding. With each inhale, see if you can feel your shoulder blades sliding away from your spine. take your right hand, place it onto your left shoulder. Take your left hand and place it onto your right shoulder. And now we're going to try to send our breath all the way up into the top part of our lungs, into our collarbone, into the muscles in our neck that help with inhalation and exhalation. So again, with each inhale, keep that engagement in the belly, a slight tone to allow the breath to rise up all the way to that top part of your lungs. With every exhale, allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop away from your ears. Go ahead and release your hands, place them back on your knees or your thighs, and allow the breath to return to a more natural state. As we move forward and I teach you the poses that we're going to hold for the yin yoga portion of this class, I encourage you to use that same awareness of your breath that we just practiced and see if we can apply that to the poses that we're holding. So you could say that this is essentially where the meditation begins. We want a really nice focus on the breath and on the sensation, the somatic experience of holding the pose that I give you. If you haven't already, you can go ahead and open your eyes. Now for this next pose we're going to hold, I encourage you to use a block or a pillow or something to just elevate your sacrum and your butt off the floor a little bit. The way we're going to set up for it is I'm going to take my right leg, tuck it underneath my body so that my left heel is pretty much in line with my, my left sit bone, okay? My right knee is pointing straight out from my body. I'm going to take my left leg, I'm going to cross it over my and really try to cross it as much as possible, okay? Sit up nice and tall. You might feel a stretch here in the sides of your glutes. If you feel a stretch here, just sitting up normally, I encourage you to hold there. If you feel like you want a little bit more of a stretch, you can start to lean forward. If you're leaning forward, I'll just show you a really important difference of how this looks. So if I'm in this position, one way that I can get my head closer to the ground is by curving over like this. That's not what we want, okay? I want to think of hinging at the hips. So I'm shooting my tailbone back. I'm reaching long with my head. And then from here, I can slowly start to curve and drop my head, okay? So it's the difference between this and this, all right? Long spine if we're going to lean forward. All right, let's go ahead and find that position. We're going to hold it for 3 minutes, so make yourself comfortable. I encourage you to close your eyes, focus on the breath. If you find that your mind is wandering, that's okay. The important part is not to engage with those thoughts. So just allow the thoughts to come and allow them to go. Try not to hold on to them. Return to the breath. Good. Slowly start to come out of that position. Uncross the legs. If you want, you can give them a little shake. And we'll go ahead and do the pose on the other side. So you'll tuck the left leg in, left heel by the right sit bone. Right leg will cross over. And then return to the breath. Good, and we can slowly come out of that position. If you need to shake the legs out, go ahead and do that. All right, for this next pose, if you want to do it elevated, if you have tight hamstrings, that can be a nice option to have your seat a little bit higher. If you have okay flexibility in the back of your legs, you can remove any bolster, any sort of elevation that you have there. Let's go ahead and start with our right leg extended straight out in front of us. We're going to take our left leg, tuck it in next to our body here, or next to our leg. So left foot will be up against our right thigh. Sit up nice and tall, and then slowly lean forward and fold over the straight leg. If this feels uncomfortable for you, if it feels way too much for the back of your leg, it's okay to have your leg bent a little bit. Also important to flex the toes of the right leg back towards the knee. That'll help lengthen the backside of the leg, okay? So if you have tight hamstrings, elevate your seat, bend the knee a little bit, then lean forward. If you want more of a stretch, try to straighten the leg, flex the toes back, lean forward. And we'll hold. If you feel a lot of sensation during any of these poses, see if you can send your breath into that sensation and try to release it. Slowly come up out of that pose. Again, if you want to shake your legs out a little bit, shake your hips out, go for it. And whenever you're ready, we will switch to the other side. So left leg extended, right leg bent, right foot up against the left thigh. Sit up nice and tall. Flex the toes of the left foot back towards the left knee, and then begin to lean forward. And good, we can come out of that. Again, if you need to, shake out the hips, maybe roll the ankles a little bit, shake out the arms if you need. For this next pose, we're going to set up with one leg behind us, one leg in front. This position I like to call 90-90 because you want two 90-degree angles. You want a 90-degree angle of your knee in the front leg, and you want 90 degrees here in the back. Okay? My torso, I'm trying to rotate towards that front leg. And then from here, I'm going to start to lean forward. Okay? If you practice a lot of yoga, this will look similar to pigeon pose or half pigeon, except that the leg is not completely extended out behind you. This is a little bit more friendly for the hips. Now, if this feels uncomfortable for you, you can use a towel or something underneath your butt just to give yourself a little elevation. All right? If you have the flexibility, though, I recommend doing it just on the floor or on your mat. Okay? Again, when we lean forward, try to have that lean come from the hips and not from rounding the spine. Go ahead, find a position you can get comfortable in. Lean forward if you want. And focus on the breath. Good. Slowly come out of that stretch. And we'll go ahead and move to the other side. Again, find 90-degree angle in the front leg, 90-degree angle in the back leg. Sit up nice and tall, and then lean forward. And good. Let's slowly come out of that pose. If you need to shake the hips out, go for it. So that's going to conclude the yin yoga portion. We're going to do a little guided breath meditation now. We'll go for about 10-15 minutes, and then I'll probably stop the class then. But if you want to continue meditating, please do so on your own. So let's start by finding our seat. I do recommend that we elevate our hips a little bit, either on a pillow or a towel, and that you make yourself nice and comfortable. Now, really important here, if you need to, you can kind of pull the extra flesh out from your butt so that your hips and your sits bones are directly on the pillow or whatever surface you're sitting on. We want to think of reaching down with our tailbone as we reach up with our head so that our spine is nice and long. We're just going to slightly tuck the chin so that we're gazing down at the floor in front of us. And then let's just have our arms hang by our sides for a second. Let them relax. Let gravity pull them down. And then from here, without moving your shoulders, just bend your elbows to bring your hands to your thighs. Okay, so this is the posture that you want to hold as we meditate. Let's go ahead and close our eyes and start to bring your awareness to your breath. The focal point for the meditation practice today will be the breath. See if you can find a specific spot in the body, maybe your belly, maybe your chest, maybe your throat. See if you can feel the breath in that area, and that will be your focal point. So if you find that your mind starts to wander, starts to drift, bring it back to that point of attention. On your own time, slowly start to open your eyes. If you need to, you can maybe circle your wrists, circle your elbows, roll the shoulder blades, maybe twist the spine. So that concludes the Monday night meditation class. Thank you for joining and participating. If this is your first time joining in, I'm also doing a class on Saturdays. I do a core and recovery class. So please join for that and stay tuned for potentially more classes in the future. I'm also working at the moment on trying to get some like movement and exercise tutorials on my website, so that if you have questions about different exercises, how to do it properly, how to program it, you can go on there and there'll be little tutorials and modules so you can help build your own routines while we're all quarantined and stuck at home. Really appreciate you guys being here. I'm doing these classes donation based, so if you feel inclined, on my website there is a donate button if you want to throw in $5, 20, 20,000, your choice. If money's tight for you, totally understand. Please subscribe in that case. Follow the YouTube page, follow the Instagram, all that social media stuff. You can find links on my website at the very top right corner. Yeah, thank you so much for joining, and hopefully see you Saturday or next Monday for some more meditation. I'll stick around for a minute or two if anyone wants or has any questions. You can type it in the little chat box, and I will hopefully be able to answer it. Thank you, Nora. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Janine. Thank you, Adrian. And whoever else I missed, thank you as well. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get off and make myself some dinner because I am hungry. See all of you soon. Thank you again.